On the 12th day of Christmas, my colleague sent to me some interesting archaeology. Yes, folks, welcome to the Archaeosoup Towers Christmas Special 2023. No, you did not mishear me. We are still within that bubble of Christmas. Today's the 12th day of Christmas, the final day of Christmas, and a day when I finally get to share with you some interesting archaeology that my colleague Marion has sent my way from her ongoing excavations up at Santa's compound. Now, if you need to get caught up, there's a whole playlist of Christmas specials that began with the Questions of Doom many years ago, where she was about to embark on this excavation and had queries as to what she might find and how she might go about excavating the old wooden toy manufacturing area, workshop, and also a candy cane factory. That came up with some interesting results, and over the years a relationship grew with, in particular, Santa, who was a bit cagey at first about having archaeologists digging in and around the grotto compound, the whole sort of, the Elves village, and the sort of very carefully protected workshop space that's ever changing, ever adapting to current present needs. But eventually she actually got a sit down interview with the man himself, all about reindeer bridle technology and the ways in which over the years that was modified and iterated, and that was fantastic. And then some things went wrong. There was budgeting concerns, there was some international politics stuff, and basically it became more and more hard for her to do the archaeology and to talk about it publicly until this year. And I've been waiting on this to come in the post because it was very carefully wrapped, and I suspect they're going to want this back. But I've been told I can handle this without gloves as well. After all, it is a sealed ceramic, and that is this little lady here. Now, to my mind, this looks like a gingerbread man, or a gingerbread woman. In fact, a gingerbread lady, and it's caused quite a stir since it was uncovered on the west edge of the compound area, some way away from that original excavation in the candy cane factory, and it was uncovered by an elf who was out for a walk. So this elf was walking, taking a stroll, having a break basically from the excavation team, and came across a small cave, went into that cave, and at the back of the cave found old sharpened fragments of candy cane, essentially sort of kind of like a sugary lithic technology, and also came across this half buried in the permafrost, and it's been substantially cleaned to make it fit for transport and showing, and also as part of the initial analysis of the artifact. And it's being described as, at least in the initial reports, as a Venus adjacent figurine. Now, Venus figurines in European prehistory in particular are famous for their enigmatic presence in the archaeological record. They come in all different shapes and sizes. They almost certainly represented a form of portable art that would be taken from place to place. Recently, it's been suggested that they may be first-person portraits, sculptures of women sculpting themselves, and so hence the proportions of body parts and limbs, etc., are quite exaggerated and elongated in different forms. So it could be women sculpting their own bodies, which is really interesting. And in this instance, what we have is a gingerbread person, a gingerbread woman, who, let's face it, isn't an elf. And this is a bit of a problem. This is why it's starting to cause a little bit of a stir, because in and around the compound area, prior to Santa and any other humans in surrounding kingdoms settling down, the area was basically where elves lived. It was where elves had evolved, as far as we can tell. And we found ourselves wondering, what the heck is this? It's dated to around about 15 to 20,000 years before present, and it represents remarkable technology. There's glazed. There's a glazed property to the ceramic. The ceramic is in fact a baked ceramic. It's been cooked within presumably some sort of kiln. And aside from the technological marvel of this existing, then that said, though, elves have always been technologically incredible. If you look at the way in which people like J.R.R. Tolkien talk about what they called gnomes as being elves with extraordinary technological capabilities, we should expect, and we do expect, to find remarkable technology in and around Santa's compound. The candy cane production line being one of them, one of the early examples of that's come out of this project. The question is, why gingerbread person? Because this is not what an elf looks like. This Venus figurine aspect, if this is a self-portrait, we don't know, but this aspect of it being somehow now crucial to the beginnings of elves in the region has led some people to suggest that this is what elves looked like, and that is to say, did they evolve from basically gingerbread? Now, it should be said that elves themselves are involved in this speculation. They are digging and doing post-ex analysis both within the compound and also on artifacts such as this, which are coming out of this project. And it's actually they who have started asking this question: is this actually where elves came from? Gingerbread men have been known in the area. They are mischievous. They can find themselves into all sorts of different and awkward places. They sometimes can be very pleasant, sometimes can be very violent. They don't tend to be all that amenable to, for example, interview or some sort of anthropological survey. But the elves now are wondering whether or not actually they may share a common ancestor with gingerbread people, gingerbread men and women, gingerbread kind. This, though, isn't being entirely embraced with open arms by all elves. Some elves are appalled at the prospect that at one point they might have been gingerbreadies. But those elves tend to be a little bit older, a bit longer in the ear, a bit more, shall we say, I don't know, conservative in their worldview. And I suppose that is to be expected. Undeniably, this is not how they imagined their ancestors to have been. Perhaps their ancestors merely interacted with gingerbread people and recorded what they found. But it's the elf-like finish, it's the glaze, it's the clothing, it's the bow, it's the smile and the rosy cheeks that really has turned some heads on this, and you can't blame them for asking questions. That's what new stuff found through the archaeological method and record is designed to do, is to raise new questions. So I'm intrigued by this personally, and also as well, it raises interesting questions about that relationship between gingerbread kind and the elven population, because they do work together, even though the gingerbread people can be very varied in their behaviour. They nonetheless do contribute aspects of gingerbread to the factories. Gingerbread harvests, for example, presumably these guys learn to master gingerbread early on, are crucial for the gingerbread output of Santa's compound. So that relationship has always been one of, it's not been uneasy. I think they get along very well, but occasionally gingerbread people will play one prank too many in the town square, and the elves get a bit fed up of it. But now it may actually in fact be that they are related on a deep level, in deep time, gingerbread people and elves. I'm intrigued by this. I'm sure you are as well, and we'll keep a close eye on these suggestions as we approach next Christmas. Hopefully, we'll have more concrete evidence, or more ceramic evidence, as the case may be. Now, there is one other possibility, and that is that this could be a Piltdown Man kind of scenario. You know, archaeology is known for some of its infamous frauds, and this could be one of those. It's been suggested that this was a plant by the elf in question. He denies this. He actually recently graduated from the elf turnship, the program that Santa enacted to get elves onto the flight crew for the reindeer and the sleigh. He sort of graduated from that into doing the archaeological excavation. Actually, he was intrigued by it. Every time he flew over, he was curious. So I don't think he would have planted this. And also as well, this isn't really their sense of humour. Elves have a much more wooden toy, clockwork based kind of sensibility. I think if they were going to do something, actually, in fact, we have just across the office here, we have a nutcracker. This is much more an elves sort of jam. This is their sort of speed. This is the kind of thing that they would, I think, make and plant. But we'll see. Again, there's more investigation to be done, and the prospect of elves having had a much more complex, interrelated ancestry with other quasi-magical beings in the Santa's Grotto area is one that cannot be ignored. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where this research goes. Thank you guys so much for watching. As interesting as these Christmas specials can be, I also appreciate your support throughout the year, your views, your comments, your kind-heartedness and warmth. It genuinely supports me and keeps me going. And this Christmas period has been interesting in terms of the conversation happening around British archaeology in particular. It's led to a couple of days where I was doing more work than I really wanted to be doing in the build up to Christmas and then between Christmas and New Year. But I simply had to share with you this Christmas special. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to the next one. Until then, though, Happy New Year. Have a fantastic 2024. Fingers crossed for projects galore. I have several ideas in the pipeline, including 3D modelling, freehand writing and notation on archaeological sites, and also more use of the 360 camera. Yeah, it's time to drop some of the self-doubt, I think, and just dive into this year. Anyway, let's see where this year takes us, and also let's take off this incredibly itchy festive hat. Until next time, do take care. Bye-bye.